So PMQs is happening right now as I record, and it's got to a point now where I don't pay attention to the PMQs anymore because it's the same back and forth rubbish from both sides. Corbyn doesn't really offer anything shocking or anything revelatory or anything like that, and Theresa May just slags off Corbyn and they just slag off each other, and it's getting boring, so I don't really pay attention to that anymore. But I wanted to discuss Theresa May's recent comments about knife crime and knife related crime, where she said there is absolutely categorically no connection between the cutting of police numbers and the rise in knife crime. Okay, bitch, so is there no connection between eating and having a shit? Is there no connection between the number of ambulances, say, and the number of people who die of heart attack before an ambulance can get there? Is there no connection? Is there no connection between fucking councils and social services and fucking things like that, youth clubs, youth centres, programmes to help kids not fall into a life of crime? You have cut not only the police numbers, you've cut the councils, you've cut the social services, the youth clubs, the youth centres. Libraries are closing, so kids can't even go and read a book anymore. Job centres are closing, so they can't even go and try and find a job anymore. Anything that would help poor, working class and largely black children, young men, find work or find something substantial to do with themselves, such as go to a library and study something, history or politics or science or whatever it is, geography. Anything that can help them have a life, help them build a life for themselves, you're stripping it away. So, yes, while knife crime and police numbers is one thing, there's a whole roster of things that you are cutting that are not helping. You need to fund these things. Fund youth centres. Fund campaigns that help people turn in their knives, for instance, for nothing and with no repercussions. You need to fund these kind of things. Stop and search is just one small part of the problem. The police is just one small part of the problem. Yes, more police on the streets would help. It would slightly bring down knife crime levels, because if there's more police visible, more police presence, people are less likely to carry out knife crimes. Stop and search only works to a limited degree, because the kids, before they are stopped and searched, are often hiding these knives in bushes or under cars or somewhere else. They're not hiding it on their person. They're hiding it nearby for wherever they may want to stab someone, and then they can take hold of it just before the crime. So stop and search is only a small part of the problem. Police is only a small part of the problem. We need to start funding local councils, local authorities, youth clubs, the youth centres, the walk-in centres where people can like turn over knives and drugs and things with no questions asked. If we really want to stop people stabbing each other to death on the streets, we need to stop paying lip service to it and start actually thinking real, thinking logically, with reason, what we can do to stop people not only carrying a knife. It's very easy to say just roll out more police and just arrest anybody carrying a knife. How do we stop people carrying a knife in their pocket in the first place? You tackle what I consider to be the first and biggest issue that leads to knife crime and people carrying knives: poverty. Because when you have poverty, by correlation, you have a rise in crime. Why? Because people in poverty are likely to turn to crime in order to finance themselves and feed themselves. Crime is quite lucrative, particularly drug stealing and things like that. Crime is quite lucrative, and in correlation with that, you have gang culture, where if you grow up in a poverty-ridden, high crime area, you are likely to join a gang just to have an identity, just to have someone around you that will protect you if you're ever in danger. You will join a gang. And then this gang will go to war with another gang and they will stab each other to death over something as silly as a postcode. Why do these kids stab each other over a postcode? Because a postcode is all they fucking have. That's it. That is it. They stab each other over blocks because a block is seen as their territory, because this is all they have, is that identity and that territory that they consider theirs. That's it. If you start funding kids, encouraging kids to take a career, doesn't matter what it is, engineering, lawyer, doctor, mechanic, sailor, whatever it is, as long as you encourage kids that they can do something with themselves, they can be something, regardless of their economic or social background. or racial background or whatever it is, if you start, I've got a really itchy nose, I do apologise. If you start encouraging kids that they can make something of themselves, that they can have a career, whatever it is it may be that they want to do, doctor, lawyer, engineer, astronaut, whatever, start encouraging these kids, telling them that they can be something, then they will stop picking up knives and thinking that the only way to protect themselves is to carry knives and stab anyone that tries to come near them. That's why it's happening, because they don't have anything to lose. These kids do not fear prison, they do not fear police. So if you say tougher sentences for knife crime, I understand why you'd say that, but that is a purely emotive response. That is a response based purely on emotion. Same way people that say, well, let's just hang all paedophiles. I understand completely why you would say that. But if you actually think, if you actually research the costs of an execution, in the US for instance, far outweighs the cost of a life in prison. Far outweighs it. But nobody wants to hear that because doesn't appeal to their anger about this. We need to stop being so angry and emotive and emotionally responsive to these things, and start actually thinking logically about what we can do to solve the issue. Again, another issue is terrorism. What do we do with terror suspects or people arrested on terror offences? A lot of people say just shoot them, hang them, whatever it is. Again, I understand completely why you would say that. But again, that is an emotive response. That is a response based purely on emotion. We need to start thinking about what we can do. Can we interrogate them maybe and get information on other terrorists that we can then arrest, and get information on more terrorists to shut down the whole thing? That's one approach you could use. How do we do it? Stop thinking emotively, start thinking sensibly. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.